Hi, I'm Courtney. I'm a healer. Intuitive. I'm an evolutionary astrologer. I'm a stargazer. And I look to the sky and I look at within people and see their souls to know that they're the star and that you're a star. And I look to the sky to help it become more comfortable, to help us understand how we can become more comfortable, how you can become more comfortable. And so I'll say, maybe you haven't been feeling so comfortable lately. Maybe the last month or the last few weeks, your nervous system has been off. It's been a hard few couple weeks, and so I'm so sorry about that. But I'm here today, and I'm so glad you're watching to remind you that it's going to be okay, and that you're beautiful, and that you're valuable, and that you are truly worthy. And it's been so uncomfortable because you're really ready to know you're enough. So we're here, and it's a Taurus new moon. What does that mean? It means that you are ready on a deeper level to understand your worth, your beauty, the ability to find your own confidence. It's personal, Taurus. So this is not about making a difference in the world, about society or changing society. It's about making sure that you're changing yourself and listening to yourself, to your body, your soul, and understanding more of what you want. It's not about material wants, even though that's kind of important too. And it's not from outside of you or having people think that you're wonderful outside, but an internal safety, what you need to feel safe, making sure you're eating enough, that the right food on the table, that you're nourishing your body. Money, money issues might have been coming up. And what do you need in the bank to feel safe? Taurus is about your basics needs to feel safe, what you need to feel well, to feel secure, and to find this feeling within you, what you need to feel safe in your life. It's the new moon about beauty and about confidence and about self-worth and self-love. Do you know you're beautiful? Like not in a superficial way, but deep in your soul level, that you are so beautiful. Do you know you're valuable? Totally valuable, not based on what you produce, not based on all your accomplishments, which I'm sure you have accomplished many things. Maybe you have a lot of roles and a lot of relationships, but you're valuable because you exist. Just because you're here and you're alive. It's a beautiful thing that you're alive. There's like nothing small about you. And so you have to ask yourself, like, where have you been making yourself small? Where have you been underestimating yourself? Where have you been tiptoeing around other people? Where have you been staying quiet and not speaking your mind? Where have you been settling for less? Less than you deserve. This is Taurus energy. And it says, I really want to feel safe. And I'm going to make you really uncomfortable if I'm not feeling safe. And it really wants you to tell people what you need. You are allowed to have what you want, and you are allowed to get what you need, and you are allowed to feel safe, genuinely, deeply safe. And I'm so, so sorry if you haven't been feeling safe. But thank you for being here and for listening to me and for receiving this message and for knowing for this moment in time that you are safe. And I know you don't always feel safe. I don't always feel safe either. And when this feeling of not feeling safe has come up in the last couple of weeks, they're trying to guide you. Okay, the energy is trying to show you what you need to feel safe, what you need to feel comfortable in your body. And you're going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. But what you have to realize is that all these experience and all these feelings that have come up over the last few weeks, they're being coming up so you can understand what you need. And so why today is so important and why is this week so important? Because this is the new moon. And today I'm making this Saturday, May 16th. And I'm going to give you tools. I'm going to give you three tools actually to make this new moon and this month easier for you and to get your own power back and to understand what that means. So for the last few weeks, right, you've been feeling, I'll bet you be feeling heavy and uncomfortable and a lot of old memories and like stories could be coming up and surfacing from the past. And there could be a fear, like this fear sitting on your throat and on your chest, and you've been scared. I'll say you could be feeling scared or unsettled. And maybe you're not even understanding why. So Here it is. You're okay. You're not falling apart. You're safe. This is just your soul, your heart, your energy talking to you. And what it's saying to you is, I want you to move forward on this new moon. So starting today and asking yourself to reset, to change some things. Because your soul is like screaming at you, saying, here, I want you to feel safe. I want you to feel loved. Funny, right? I know. It doesn't feel like it wants you to feel safe. It feels quite the opposite, but that's the thing, contrast. We need to understand what we don't want anymore to understand what we do want. And it's just never easy. So we can get back to feeling safe, coming back to our own stability, to finding our own calmness within ourselves. And this new moon and the sky and the stars are here to support you. But it will and has felt opposite. And for that, I am so sorry. But I'll say your body and the people outside of you are showing you what it is to not feel safe. And when you see them, you can actually let it go and you could have more of what you do want. And that's it. You're ready for it. Even if you don't feel ready and you don't believe me, I'll say to you, I'm asking you to believe me, to trust me. So for a moment, can you let yourself let go of your own judgment, let go of just the judgment of how you felt over the last couple of days, thinking that it won't change, and realize that they're just feelings and their experiences, and that you're here today, right here, and that everything in the last couple of weeks have just been showing you what you need, what you're desiring. And can we allow this moment in this new moon, when the sun and the moon they meet? So sun and the moon meet at exactly the same point. They can join. They become one. They're whole. And in this moment of human, there's this like moment of an invitation, an opportunity to set your intentions, but it could last for a few days. So don't worry whenever you're seeing this video. And we could think of them as seeds. And it's just seeds of what we're ready to manifest, what we're ready to create. And so everything that's shown up before, everything that's shown up before this new moon, were all things that are just being ready to heal. How will you know what you want and what you need if you don't know what it is you don't want and don't need? So that's it. The last 2 weeks, all the things that you do not want anymore, and it's been asking you to come back to yourself, to your inner self, into your own inner psyche. See all the shadows, all the things that scare you, all of the parts of yourself that you no longer want to have with you. And so feelings of jealousy, feelings of anger, feelings of fear, what you're scared of, things you just want to you want to fight about. And it's not new. These feelings are not new. Okay. So they've been with you for a long time and they're painful and they're scary. And there's a lot of things that scare us. And those things have been coming up for us. And I am so sorry. But here is the truth. When we can understand them, when we can understand these feelings, when we really truly see that we don't want them anymore, all the things that make us scared, all the things that are uncomfortable, all the anger, all the things that were overwhelming that have been coming up, they're showing you that it doesn't have to be anymore, that they could leave your body, literally leave your body. They could release. That is what the dark of the moon is. They're asking you to release. You no longer want to be inside of you, the fear, the sadness. So we just went through a full moon in Scorpio, and Scorpio is tough. It's asking you to go deep. It's asking you to look at the part of yourself that you don't like, the part of yourself that you don't want to talk about, like jealousy, right? Like everyone has jealousy. It's human nature, right? It's the snake. It's like the old skin. So you think of a snake and they have to shed their skin, and then when they shed their skin completely, right? There's this beautiful snake skin underneath. That's what the last 2 weeks have been, a shedding, a process for releasing. And right now, almost right now, depending when you're listening to this, you're almost on the other side and it's a new day. It's a new moon and you're ready. So Taurus, it's about feeling safe. It's about listening to your instincts, your body, your sense of smell. Like, you ever notice something if you're gonna eat something and it doesn't smell right? You're like, oh, I don't really like that. It's showing you what you value. It's understanding what you need to value and what you're ready to value. It's about valuing yourself. But a lot of it's around safety, stability, and feeling calm and coming back to your own calmness. So your heart has been showing you what you need. So think about what you need and let's work on this and plant your seeds. And so we could watch them grow. And you're going to watch them grow, but you're not going to really watch them. You're going to just believe they're going to grow. And so we want you to become the best version of yourself. And so does your soul. Your soul wants you to be the best version of yourself. So I'm going to share with you 3 tips and tools that will help you get here. Okay. So take a breath. Courtney has to take a breath too because she's speaking so loud and so noisy, right? Is she speaking loud? I don't know. You could tell me, but take a breath. Let's get stable and let's figure out what you want. Okay. So here's the first tool. Okay. So let's think about this. Think about yourself as a child and you're laying in bed. You're a child, you're laying in bed, and it's nighttime and it's really dark. So I want you to think about this. Take everything else out of your mind. And I want you to imagine that that child that you're in, that you are, believes that there's monsters under the bed. They believe that there's monsters under the bed, right? You know, that child's laying there, you're the child, you're sleeping, and you believe there's monsters under your bed. The fear is very real. So don't make yourself wrong. The fear is really real. There's terror there. There's a feeling of such being uncomfortable. You could feel it in your body, your veins. Okay. So in a way, we'll say, like, think of them as feelings that you've had over the last week. Okay. And you could feel like it's so scary, right? There's something scary. Every noise, everything that's happened outside of yourself feels fear. So you're in bed, you're laying there. And what happens when you get brave enough to finally look at the edge of the bed? I'm looking under the edge of the bed and I look underneath the bed. So I'm going to look underneath the feelings that you've had this week. And what's the worst thing that can happen if you look under the bed or look at the feelings? What's the worst thing? What's your biggest fear? So think about what your biggest fear that you've experienced last week and all the thoughts in your head that are running. Okay, what are you really scared of? Okay, but let's now say we're sleeping in the bed, we're looking underneath the bed and we're willing to look. Okay, can you see if there's a monster under the bed? Think about it. It's usually much more scary than it seems. The fear of the monster is actually more scary than the reality of going to check for the monsters. So many times our fear of what could happen or what might happen could be blocking from us from what actually is you're really okay, that they're old memories and that you're safe. That's what we've been asking to do. We're asking to see what the scars are this week. Look at the things that have been scaring you. Look at the monsters under your bed and look at your own fear. I mean, honestly, it's really been a hard couple weeks. So I just want you to hear. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for noticing like where your fear has been stopping you from valuing yourself, where your fear has stopped you from knowing your worth, maybe from getting the love you need, right? Maybe if I actually ask for what I want, the people won't give it to me and I'll be scared. I'll lose that person. And now instead of looking at it from a place of any judgment, we're going to just look at it with curiosity, not shame. There's never anything to be ashamed of, really. When we truly look at something, and when you truly are willing to look at what's no longer serving you, something absolutely extraordinary happens. The fear that you've had or the scaredness that you've had loses its power. When you actually look under the bed, when you look at these feelings, when you look within, you have the ability to transform them. It gives you information that you need and you find clarity. And you actually find out what you really need and what you're not willing to take anymore. These dark parts in your life, they're not your enemies. These feelings that other people are bringing up, they're not your enemies. They're not your problem. They are the greatest teachers. That monster under the bed is showing you what you really need to let go of, what you no longer need to be scared of, right? The monsters are not always there and they're not really there. They're not there. So many of it's from our fears from our outside world. What could happen if I do something? What could happen if I actually ask for what I want? Can you look within into your own deep feelings without blaming anyone, but simply noticing the fear that's coming up, the stories that have come up this week, the situations that have come up in the last 2 weeks, and say, What am I really scared of? And what don't I need to be scared of anymore? And other people have probably been bringing up a lot of fears or the fearing that it could bring up a lot of fears. What could happen if? What will happen then? But when we can take responsibility and understand these feelings are within us, we have the ability to bravely change them. We could ask for what we need. We could ask for what, when we see what's uncomfortable, right? We don't need to make other people wrong, but we could just first allow ourselves to really get to a place where we can understand what we need, to see what we fear, because your fear is stopping you from getting the life you want, for living your most authentic, beautiful life, because you're worthy of it. And I don't want this fear to stop you anymore. I want you to be able to ask for what you want without making anyone else wrong, without blaming anyone else, but knowing that you can get what you want. This new moon in Taurus is asking you to speak up. Think about this. It's conjunct Mercury, right? Mercury is the planet of speaking and communication, speaking up for what you want, and that knowing that you're safe to do it. So you had this Taurus Scorpio axis the last couple of weeks, and is working to help you be clear, honestly, about what you need. To be honest about what you need, the courage to say it out loud. And you can, because the other way, oh God, is pushing the feelings down and then not looking at them and keeping those monsters under your bed and not being willing to look at this darkness. And when we do, these monsters stay under the bed, these feelings stay, and they hurt you even more. But when we can let them go, be truthful about them, it shows you what you desire. You can let them guide you. You could trust them. Taurus is about your instincts, and they are noisy right now, these instincts of yours, and they're really trying to support you and help you. I've been writing a lot this week. I have a Substack. I'll share it below. And it's about the nervous system this week, about keeping your nervous system calm. Taurus is about wanting peace and calm, but you have not been feeling so peaceful and calm. So what do you need to do for yourself to get to a place where you feel calm, where your nervous system can take a break? You don't feel so in fight or flight. It's like you could feel like you're in fight or flight, but we don't want you to feel that way. And you almost can't think clearly. So here we are. And I'm going to get to my second ask for you, my second tool. I'm going to ask you to come back to yourself, to feel calm and centered. And how can you do this? Taurus is about the earth. It's about outside energy. It's about nature. So my next thing, number two, would say, go outside, take your shoes off, put your bare feet on the grass, like Richard Gere in the movie Pretty Woman. Feel the ground on your feet. Put your feet down, stabilize them. Imagine now that your feet have roots coming down from your feet, bottom of your feet, and allow the roots to help ground you into the earth. Stand tall and imagine yourself as this beautiful, stable tree. You are safe. You are safe. Another gift you could give yourself is now you can imagine yourself as a palm tree, or a floating palm tree. And why I like the palm tree is because it's flexible. So imagine if you allowed yourself to be a little more flexible, which Taurus doesn't really like, because Taurus likes everything very stable, but I'll say to you, we're going to need to go a little flexible because here we are, we're going into Gemini. But may you know you're safe. May you know you're safe. And may you be a little flexible, but ground yourself. And let yourself stay here and on this grass, okay? Until you feel safe and until you really could imagine and picture yourself allowing these roots to grow and the tree to stand tall. The trees stand tall. They're really beautiful. Just like you. You're so beautiful. Sometimes you think that you need someone else to make you feel safe. But here's the thing. You have the ability to make yourself feel safe, and that's what you want. You don't need anyone else outside of you to feel whole or to feel safe or to make you feel stable. I want the love from you to go out, go into nature, and take care of yourself. This is personal. I want you to love yourself and to nurture yourself and to stay grounded and to take a breath, to know you're safe. And also to know that the people outside of us, especially the people closest to you, are supposed to bring up a lot of feelings for you, and they have. They bring up your wounds and they bring up your stories and they bring up your situation. So you could thank them for bringing up any feelings that have come up in the last 2 weeks. And you could say, thank you to my body for coming back to itself and to knowing that I'm safe. You are safe. You are safe. You are safe. So if you're into astrology, you'll know that Taurus is also the ruler of Venus. Okay. So I'll tell you another reason why you haven't felt safe is that Venus is out of bounds. And so Venus is acting crazy. Really, it's acting a little crazy. And it could be like your mind could feel like it's going nuts. So it's asking you to just take a breath and calm down and know your worth and practice at every moment to calm your brain, to calm this inner soul of yours, to love yourself. Venus is love. Taurus is not outside of you, it's love within yourself. So, this is tool number 2. Go out into nature, pretend you're a tree. Maybe take Miley Cyrus's point of view and buy yourself some flowers. Stand tall and love yourself. Oh, you could actually put Miley Cyrus's song on and start to dance because Taurus loves music. It's like music will ground you and calm you down. So just dance. Okay. And now we're on our third one. What's the third one? So here's the third one. Okay. So we've thought about the monsters under our bed. We've thought about grounding ourselves and coming back to a great place. And now we're going to figure out how we're going to set our intentions for what we want and how to plant the seeds. And I think the best way to do it is write. So take a piece of paper, write. We're going to plant your seeds. Going to plant your seeds for what you want. But how do we do this? How do we get what we want? So take a pen and paper. I always have pen with me, not on your phone, actually paper. I want you to ground this, and I want you to write down all the feelings you've had in the last few weeks, everything, even ones you're embarrassed about. And I want you to write everything down and anything you don't want anymore, any feelings of fear, anxiety, jealousy, stress, anything that's dark. And I want you to ready that you really just don't want anymore. I want you to release them. So I want you to write it down without editing, without judging yourself. I don't even want you to think about it. I just want you to write down words, stories, anything. And I want you to now consider either what you could do with this is either you could burn it, you could take it, roll it up and burn it, or you could take it and tear it into little pieces and then pour water on it. And I take tons of salt and it clears it. And then just throw it away. You're releasing it. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. You don't have to carry it anymore. You don't have to be scared. You don't have to have this fear with you anymore. You could feel safe. Now I want you to take a clean piece of paper. Okay, this is the third thing. And I want you to think about this. If all the feelings and fears were gone, okay, if all these feelings and fears were gone, what do I want? What do you want? What do you want your life to look like? If you could, your life, this is about you. What do you want your life to look like? What would you picture would look different? How would you experience love? How would you experience friendship? How would you experience beauty or your creativity? So let's say if you wrote lonely as one of the things. Now, I don't want to be lonely anymore. And so I want to have relationships where I feel seen. You want to have relationships where you feel appreciated. You want to spend time with people, but like really spend time with people, not on the phone, not trying to have getting something from anyone or them getting something from you, but just being with someone and feeling seen and cherished just because you're you and doing that for someone else too. Okay, let's see if money stuff has been coming up because Taurus is a lot around money. What do you need to feel stable? Write down a number. What do you need to make so you have enough money for everything you need and you have enough? Write it down. Write down a number and just fold it up and put it down and know it will come. Let's say if you feel unappreciated, I want you to imagine what it would feel like to be truly seen. So I'm seen, I'm appreciated, you're loved by people. Let people love you and see you. Write it down. Write it down like it could be possible, that it is already possible, and then it's the seed. You're planting the seed. A lot of times I just take it, I fold it up, I put it away into my underwear drawer or somewhere else, somewhere next to my bed or underneath my bed, right? But you're asking for it. You're actually asking the angels, you're asking source. And a lot of times we think we could get what we want by kind of thinking about it, but it really is important that you ask for what you want and be specific about what you want. Imagine the feeling it will feel like when I feel loved. Imagine what it feels like when you're not feeling lonely anymore. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does the world smell like when things are a little bit better? What does it taste like to just eat a really good piece of anything or have a meal with someone you love? Imagine that and write it like it's already happening to you. You're planting your seeds for what you want. So it has to be positive. You let go of all the things you don't want. And now you're planting the seeds for what you want. I want to feel safe. I feel safe. I feel secure. I feel secure in my body. I like my body. Okay. And here I think we're going to go back a little bit because I want to say that a good reminder is remember the feelings that have come over the last month. And if these feelings no longer were happening to me, what would I need? What would I feel like? What would it be like? Because a lot of times we've been having a lot of anger come up this month. Okay, so for instance, the planet of desire, Mars, is in Aries, and it was just on Chiron and Eris, and Eris is kind of the fighter, and Chiron is your wounds, and it's saying, okay, I'm getting angry. I'm having this feeling of anger because I don't want certain things in my life anymore the way they were. And so we're taught to suppress it because there's so much shame around anger. There's so much shame, like, oh, how dare you get angry? Or, you know, you get shamed if you get mad at somebody or if you get angry at someone and you feel embarrassed, right? And so we're taught to be polite, we're taught to suppress our feelings. And so we're taught to kind of stay small and have our energy be small. But anger is like this beautiful, sacred energy. It's information. It's saying what you need. So if you've noticed you got angry lately, look at the places you've been angry, look at what's happened in that situation that you don't want anymore, and then see it as it's pointing you to the direction of where your needs have been unmet. That's all. My needs have been unmet. I need certain things and I'm not getting it. And so I need to feel angry so I could get what I want. Thank you. So it's really interesting because it's not easy to receive things from people. It's not easy to ask for what you want. And so a lot of times we don't ask for what we want, and then we'll get angry. And the anger is not a bad thing. I mean, really, especially if you're a woman, anger is not bad. And especially if you're a man. You know what? You man or woman, if you're getting angry, see it within you, and there's something you need to change about your life. You are ready. You are ready to love yourself. You are ready to accept yourself, and you're ready to get what you need. And you need to get it within you. You need to ask for what you want. You need to take the separate actions and the steps so that your soul feels safe. And you need to fall in love with yourself again, to love yourself, to remember you're whole, and to be good with wherever you're at. Here it is. We're all complex. I'm complex. You're complex. Everyone in your life is complex, and we are all carrying so many wounds from our parents, from our childhoods, from our ancestors, from our past relationships, from our past pains, from our past hurts. Our feelings are have memories and they hurt and we hurt and they hurt. The people in our lives hurt. There is no shame around this. This is being human, and you cannot think anyone's not hurt. There's no way there's a human in this world that is not hurt. Or else, honestly, I don't think they're here. So. But even with all this hurt and all this being human, can you find a way to love yourself unconditionally, no matter what happened, no matter what's happened to you, no matter what's happened in your life, no matter what you've done? You're beautiful. You're worthy. Life is beautiful. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. And it's all about helping us grow. There's something enormous shifting in the collective. We could feel it, right? We're all being asked to change. You see everyone's changing. People are making changes in their life. People are losing their jobs. People are getting new jobs. People are moving. People are leaving. And this change is so uncomfortable. But this is not, the discomfort is not that something's wrong, right? Discomfort is, well, discomfort and the feelings are that we could have something different, but it's not uncomfortable. It's not bad to be uncomfortable and to be scared and to take action in where you're scared, right? That's the Aries energy. It's like, I'm going to take action even if I'm scared, even if I am wounded, even if I am hurt. And it will really, if I can love myself, if you can love yourself, and I can love myself, and we can all love ourselves, and the other person in your life can learn to love themselves, it will help this experience going through life a little easier. It'll make it easier. So, how do we do that? We have to listen to our hearts. We have to listen to what our soul's been trying to say. We have to have faith in ourselves, faith that it's going to work out. Know that there's something higher and that you're not alone and that you're never alone and that there are angels with you because there's source energy and there's angels and there's, let's say, the divine, whatever you want to call it, whatever you call it. Can you come back to having faith? And faith is meaning that you don't need proof. And so talk about another cycle really quickly. There's a 17-month cycle. It's the nodes of the moon, and it's all been asked, and we're coming to the end of it for you and for everybody else in the world to choose faith. Faith, believing that there's something bigger than us. Look up to the sky. And how it shows up is by saying to you, you cannot control anything. You ever hear like the prayer, God grant me the strength to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference? Have you been feeling out of control, like you can't control anything? Think about it. The last 18 months, you're trying to hold on and trying to control things, and you just can't, and things are out of your control. Well, here's the trick. Let go. Let go. I always think of the Fool card with this because if you are into the tarot, the Fool kind of has all the information they need and they're jumping off a cliff or they're walking off a cliff. And it might feel like you have to walk off a cliff. It might feel this way, right? But if you're holding on so tight and you're just so scared and you're not willing to take this step to go forward, you're going to stay back and you need to go forward. So you have to let go. You have to surrender. You have to have faith. When you do, your life will begin to flow a little easier when you let go of the control. This is when the magic happens. So you plant your seeds, you let go, and you don't look for proof. And that's actually when the seeds can grow. You can't look for proof. You can't say, "Oh, I want to have this," and then see what's not working in your life and then say, "Well, it's not working yet, Courtney." It will work. You have to believe for it to work. You have to believe, and so you can't look for proof. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for evolving. I want to thank you for listening to this. I want to thank you. Remember that it's okay to be uncomfortable and that it's showing you something, and that whatever is making you uncomfortable is just showing you what you want and what you don't want. I know this month was hard, and I know that maybe you didn't feel safe, and for that I am so sorry. But you are ready to feel safe. You are ready to feel safe. Sometimes we have to be truly, deeply uncomfortable to change. And that Taurus energy, oh God, it doesn't like it. It doesn't like change. But here, you are ready to push through this. You're ready to have a breakthrough. You're ready to shed the old wounds, the old identity that's been keeping you small, keeping you scared. And you are ready to become a bigger being, having more confidence in yourself, more self-worth. Because here it is, there's stars in the sky and there's a star in you. You are the star of your life. You are the star of your life. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. I want you to appreciate yourself, to see your self-worth. Your soul needs it. You need it. You need to love yourself. And it's okay when you are uncomfortable. You're okay. And I'm so sorry. But you are worthy. And you're worthy simply because you're born, not because you wear the right clothes or have the right car or have the right house. Get more of what you want, though. You are ready. Go towards what scares you. Ask yourself, like, this is scaring me. I don't even want to do this, but I'm scared to make this video right now. And yet I do. I want the world to know. I want you to know that you're safe. And so if I don't make this video, how maybe you won't know you're safe. Maybe you came and you stumbled about this video and you were ready to know that you are safe and that you're ready to be yourself safe. And so what have you been avoiding to do? Have the conversations you need to have. Don't stop putting them off. Ask for what you need. Make the changes that you've been contemplating. What steps can you take to contemplate them? Do the 3 exercises. Go outside, stand tall, look under the bed, plant your seeds that you've been wanting to plant, but you're scared to plant because you might not know if they're going to grow. It will grow. You are ready. You are loved. I love you. I'm Courtney. Thank you for loving yourself, taking care of yourself. Thank you for coming back to feeling safe within who you are at this moment and remembering that you are safe. Thank you for coming back and be centering yourself. Thank you for knowing that you're beautiful and that you're valuable and that you're worthy. Thank you for knowing you're enough. I know this. You got this. So today or this week or this weekend or the week forward or even in the next 2 weeks, plant your seeds. And I'll ask you to get what you want, to have the courage to get what you want, because you're worth it. You're worth it simply because you're born and that you're alive. So this was my challenge for myself. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please like it, follow me, share this with the others because we'll say we're all ready. You're ready. I'm ready. Everybody's ready to know their worth, to know their value, and to know that they're enough. So it is. I appreciate you so much. Have a blessed day.